was laying back, cool, calm, collect with my man Mike off a second and Carondolette. If Atlas shrugged so he could give his arms a rest, I figured I could take the time to let my mind wander. Yet, we all scoring a game that I don't care about. Cause if you ain't dropping that cheap weekend shit every week and shit, then they wonder about your whereabouts. I will clothesline a nigga and air it out. Cause time is precious in my...
That song of the year so far, man. I don't care what y'all say. I don't care. No,
It
I don't care. I don't care about your thoughts. Your thoughts are not my thoughts. I do not care. Let's get it cracking early. Phonte, So Help Me God is song of the year.
You sounded real familiar over here, B. You sounded real familiar. I don't want to hear.
I did not say album of the year. I said song. So far. I said so far. I said so far. It probably will be beat pretty soon, but my man's went nuts on this. Like you gonna acknowledge you went crazy?
No. It's the best song.
Is there a better rap song so far this year?
No, he bodied.
Nah.
Okay. That's all I'm saying.
A song.
That's what I'm saying. Just a song.
It's some. No.
Nah. Ain't nobody messing with Phonte. So Help Me God is
no news is good news.
From January 1st through March 4th, 5th. That's song
that's the best
so
song.
far.
Yeah. First 60 days of the month.
Right.
I mean, first 60 days of the month.
First quarter.
First 60 days of the year.
We might not even make it out of first quarter.
You gave the first quarter.
Saying, right.
Don't say that, man.
I don't even know. You don't know what's going to come out.
Man,
you don't know.
Yeah.
We might get a Black Thought freestyle and then it's
going to
over.
be over.
Huh?
Thought you was talking about
no. I don't know. You don't never know what drop. He might drop a remix to it. You don't know what's going on.
You're right, man.
So, with Elzai on it?
That'll be too much, man.
It might be.
He coming later this month.
I know.
Or is that in
They already dropped the Jericho joint last week. It was
Tim and Crisis?
Yeah. No, I thought he was
his solo album?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even know yet.
Right. I thought that's what it was supposed to be coming out later on this year. And he dropping two.
We just went straight in. Xtra Mild Sauce Podcast, episode 14.
Episode 14.
Your hip hop podcast.
Phonte got us all into it. My bad.
Right.
My bad.
Your hip hop podcast. We here every Wednesday at 8 a.m. to give you all you need to know about hip hop and anything really going on in the black culture.
Straight up.
Yeah, but I think Elzai is supposed to. I know he's supposed to drop a solo. I didn't think it was that soon though.
Yeah, I thought it was soon. I may be off though.
We've had a lot of great music to start the year, but let's kick it off by reviewing Phonte No News.
New
Tigolo.
Yeah.
Y'all know my affinity for Tigolo.
Yes.
So his first solo album was an instant classic to me. Charity Starts at Home.
Mm-hmm.
That was 2011. Like
very slept on album.
Yeah. So I think that was like 2011, 2012.
2012.
Yeah. But I would say that was my favorite album for like 2 or 3 years. Like that was such a great project. And then this came as like a shock. Like I had talked to somebody that had talked to him and said it's coming soon. But when that man put out like a post on IG and Twitter like it's coming at midnight, I lost my.
Yeah,
I was doing like the '89 Jordan beat the Cavs game.
The fist
I jumped up like.
He in the store, Elo and Cats.
Right. Like
2011, by the way, Charity Starts.
Okay,
So he was right.
Yeah. So, so I was that excited because I've never heard a whack tape verse like ever. So, I know what we're gonna get. But I want to. Yeah, I want to jump into. Let's talk about production. Okay. What did you guys think of the production right out the gate?
Clean. It's what I would expect from Phonte.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of had a Foreign Exchange feel to it, man.
In some cases.
Yeah.
That's the only part of this project that I wanted more out of. I wanted more out of the production. It was pockets where it felt redundant. Right, I guess is the way that it built up. If you heard the intro song, then you heard So Help Me
to
God.
The Rescue. Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, the intro song to the show, not to the album.
Yeah.
But the intro song to the album, like you said, Tigolo to the Rescue. That was dope, and then So Help Me God. So then it set the precedence for in my mind that this was just going to be just straight up crazy production, and then it fell into pockets where it just kind of lulled for me.
But I think like with me, because I know Phonte,
Yeah.
Like we have to think like this is like an alternative type artist, right? And his beat selection is always very eclectic. Like it's always that way. Like if we think about like Foreign Exchange, if we think about Charity Starts at Home, some of those weren't traditional beats. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So
That's
walking
true.
into that, I knew that that's what I was getting. I will say jump like straight out the gate. Yeah, like you said, Tigolo to the Rescue was so dope. I loved like the mastering and the mixing of it. Made it sound like a lot more gritty.
Yeah.
And then So Help Me God. I think that was a Marco Polo. Whew, that joint was murdered. The one
best
y'all
song
just
on
heard
the
in the
album.
intro.
Best song on the album.
That production was murdered. And then there was definitely some other ones like I was in love with, like throughout the album. I think it was what's the one? I really liked the production that Freddie Gibbs was on.
That was Change My Mind. Change of Mind.
Yeah,
Change
that
of
one
Mind.
was dope to me. And then there was the other one I think I was really in love with a lot was Such Is Life.
Such Is Life was dope.
Sweet You is just a remake of
Yeah.
of an old Foreign Exchange track called Sweeter Than You. I think what was that? Was that which album was that?
The Left Behind one.
Leave It All Behind.
Leave It All Behind.
Yeah, so that was a remake of that, but it was a great because he was rapping on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like production wise, I got what I expected from him. You know
I
what
agree.
I'm saying?
I agree.
I don't think you're ever gonna get like the beat selection of Ross from Phonte, because he is more of like a crossover artist. You know what I'm saying? So
I dig that.
so I some of the beats felt more Foreign Exchange than Little Brother. You know what I'm saying?
And you'll expect that because that's the collective too. So
Yeah.
I wasn't mad. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, so I think I expected that. I knew it wasn't going to be like a 5-star production, production wise, because he's got to have stuff that he can do like rap Olympics song. Like he's gonna play with flows and do a whole bunch of other stuff. So I kind of expected that piece. Yeah,
I dig that.
Yeah, so yeah, I would say if there's something that within this album is left to be desired, some different productions. I could see somebody saying that. Yeah, if you're not familiar with him. What about lyrically and message?
Lyrically, he on his thing, man.
My man got busy for a
every
whole
year.
album, dog. Like, I will say the other
Nothing
thing.
else left to say.
Me and Steph talked about this like previously. I love concise projects.
Yeah.
He gave us 10 minutes. I think it was like under 35 minutes
33
of
minutes.
work.
It's a
33
minute
minutes of work, but I don't have anything that I skip within that album. I think he's gonna give you bars no matter what. So we get the bar heavy, like I would say every album you get one. You know what I'm saying? Where he's just gonna go nuts for you right quick.
Yeah.
Just to let you know where he's at bars wise. Like ain't nothing. I ain't lost nothing. I ain't lost a step with this rap there. And then within the other tracks, he kind of he's telling stories and things like that. Like I think, man, when he was telling the story, like Expensive Jeans, just to play on words there, and that
my
whole
second favorite
concept.
That one, man.
Expensive Jeans was extremely dope.
Yeah, Expensive Jeans was so dope, and how he transitioned from song to song between Expensive Jeans
And the track right after that.
Yep, the track right after that, Cry No More and Such Is Life. It just was such a natural flow between those three songs.
And
Cry No More was the one where he kind of stole the J flow, like niggas don't cry though, like how
I
they
can see
style.
that.
Yeah,
I can see that.
And that's why I think Steph really summed it up when he said this was a clean project.
It was.
One thing that I really have always admired about Phonte is his breath control and the way that he delivers the bars.
Yeah.
It's not really ever a point in time where you gotta rewind it and be like, okay, well, what did he say, or he didn't sound clear. He just always delivers it very clear, very crisp. It's not always easy to do with the way that he fits some of these bars in there. So that's one thing that I've always admired about him. I thought it was super dope.
His flow is so easy yet so unorthodox. Like I think that's another dope thing about it. So even as he's telling like different stories and things, how he's working in like even the app to check like what was he talking about, the app to check your to see if you have sleep apnea.
Yeah.
Like that whole transition, how he switched that up was just
That was cold.
Yeah, that was cold. And then even as he talked about, I think like the part that like it hit me, I'm sure it hit a lot of other people, was when he talked about laying his father to rest and went to the repast and ate the same thing that killed him.
Yeah. That
Like-
part in the whole, like you said, with the CPAP with the sleep app.
That's
that was
it.
that whole song was cold.
The album itself was very personal to me.
Yeah.
Like, I've never heard you listen to him more than probably we do combined. So
Yeah, pretty much.
I've never heard him on a more personal level, if you will, with this.
And he addressed that like
with
on the way out too. I think on one of the last tracks. To your point, like didn't he say he couldn't have wrote these rhymes 7 years ago? Like somebody did charity starts at home. He couldn't have did this. This project was so transparent, man. Like
he talking about his mom's dying.
Yeah, and about
It was
how
like my bad if it's coming out like this, but
with
it's
her
real.
using cigarettes and how he just feels like, okay, this is dumb. You killing yourself. You see what just happened to Dad and all of that. So I think the last time that he got this personal was
Minstrel.
Minstrel Show with the song talking about his son.
All for you. All for you.
Yeah,
that's one of the
All
greatest
For You.
verses in hip hop history, man.
It was definitely.
It's up
it was
there.
definitely
His last
dope.
verse on All For You, Little
Yeah.
Brother, The Minstrel Show. If you've never heard it, please go check it out. But he talks through the relationship with him and his father.
Yeah.
And ultimately gets to a point where he he was
said,
frustrated
do
with
the
his
same
father
thing.
growing up, and then realized once he became a father, he went through the
He was
same
him.
struggles.
Yeah.
And so I think when you get to the point his father passes, and I feel like we've seen that relationship through his music too.
Yeah.
Which is
He paints a very vivid picture whenever he rhyming.
Yeah.
That's and not everybody could do that.
And that's
Right.
the type of rap I like. I want to
Yeah.
visualize what you're telling me. That's why I like Biggie so much, because I can see, like, I'm the cinematographer,
right.
And Nas.
and you're the director,
Right.
and I can pinpoint what you're doing, how you're doing it. It's my color scheme, it's my this, but your story, I'm able to tell your narrative.
Nobody
Dope,
does it
man.
better for me than Nas, but Phonte, Biggie are very good examples of guys who can paint that picture.
Yeah.
And they immerse you in what they're talking about. You're on that trip or that travel, that journey.
Yeah,
with
this was a snapshot of his life in
for sure.
2018. I think talking about the whole because you guys know he got divorced. And then this was his second marriage, but just talking through like doing it right this time and just knowing he's learned from the mistakes and given totally been able to say, okay, I've learned from the mistakes of my 20s and let them go. You know what I'm saying? So that I can give everything to this marriage that I thought I would never have. I just overall I was in love with just all of the concepts, all of the content. I think it was much needed at this point in time, as he talked about like nutrition and just talked about the relationship with like I think he was talking about like with your son, right? He was like you're gonna see a point where ultimately he starts trying to tell you you're wrong, but that's okay. Like love him through it.
He talked about the cycle. Like I did this, you're gonna do it to me.
Exactly. Yeah.
His topics and musical choices were very off the beaten path, but it still came together so well. He fit the pieces of this puzzle very, very well, and it is with things that that you wouldn't think about. It's like how many guys is gonna come in and start dropping knowledge about the health and the things that you should be looking out for and being conscious to, and then turn it into a dope track.
Yeah,
you're not gonna get that every day, or if ever. I mean, so I thought the way that he put all of this together was
his
super
perspective
dope.
was just so dope. I think that's what I always get from him is just perspective, like a different perspective than mine. Coming from a different place, but it's something that I can relate to even if I haven't gone through it because of the way that he packages it.
Yeah, for sure.
Which was so dope. What did you guys think about features?
I know we was just talking about the Freddie Gibbs joint.
Yeah.
I thought it was straight. I thought the Freddie Gibbs verse was straight. I wanted Phonte to rap on that joint with him, but it was more of one of the singing Phonte joints, so the song wasn't bad. But,
I liked it. I mean, I guess because Gibbs was telling the whole story of when he was locked up overseas and how a girl held him down.
Yeah.
It was a little bit out of Gibbs's element
Right.
Which I thought was dope because his flow was so dope over that track. I didn't expect. I didn't know what to expect with Gibbs on a track like that.
And I was leery about that too. It was cool, but it didn't seem to me. It didn't really fit the album. I guess because, like you stated, it wasn't Phonte rapping. It was like somebody else rapping Fonte's voice, but it was Freddie Gibbs' story. So it was Freddie Gibbs giving us his story. But I wanted Phonte, even if he would have came and did maybe 8/16 at the end, you know, it kind of would have combined it all together.
Anytime Phonte don't rap, I be mad. So I understand.
Exactly.
I understand that perspective. I even go for it. Then he had the joint with Eric Roberson.
Yeah.
Not mad at that one either.
Find That Love Again. That was dope.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the Gibbs. I totally understand where you guys are coming from with that. Like, it was a little bit different, you know. It was cool though. I think sometimes it's dope when you get people out of their element. So it's not my favorite Freddie Gibbs verse of all time or anything like that, but it was cool. I definitely think him and Robertson just have a unique chemistry.
Yeah, they got a dope connection, man.
Tigalero was such a dope project. Just anything that they do together is just always dope. So.
And that was them together the whole joint, right? Him and
Find That
Love.
Love. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about
Tigalero.
Yeah,
the whole album.
Project. Yeah, that one was fresh.
Yeah. And then lastly, so if we have to rate this on the mild sauce scale, I'm gonna go last.
Of course
you will. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna give it 4.5.
4.5. Wow.
I'm leaning towards 4.
Wow.
But I'm giving it 4.5.
Wow. 4.5. I be.
You slide over, dog.
Probably ain't
Now
gonna
you
like
gonna sit up here like you about to say
that jab is right.
Just
So
salt
let
and
me
pepper.
switch hands with the bottle. Let me switch hands.
I thought it was dope. Like I said, I wanted more out of
You
the
give
production.
him a 2. I'm gonna lay you out in this right
it's
here.
not
I'm gonna
2.
baptize you right here.
The bars alone, you gotta give him a 2. You can't give him a 2. I'm going 3.5 though. I'm going 3.5.
And what you basing it on?
I'm basing it on the fact that.
What do you think took away from it not being
the production?
Steph's 4.5?
The production is what's keeping it from being a 5 for me.
The production is what took it down a notch. That and I wanted more. You know, I've always been consistent with this. I want longer full length albums. It was 33 minutes.
But it was 33,
People got work, man.
It was 33 minutes of no skips.
Right.
Man.
I dig it.
No
I dig
interludes.
I dig
no
it.
That's
filler.
like saying Common B. Oh man, you can't. That's not long.
It's longer than 33 minutes.
Common B was like 40.
It's like 50
like
minutes.
one song.
So then, all right. So then, if you're talking about an extra 20 minutes, that's 3-4 more songs.
I mean,
and that would have gave you a 4 if it was 4 more songs.
But what if the message was lost because of 3 or 4 more songs and more filler?
If you give me 3 or 4 more songs with the consistency of a Phonte, you're not losing the message. You know that.
I mean, because I think the other thing I think I kind of left out the dopeness of the kind of interludes and how he built those into the tracks to kind of set you up.
I like albums that do that at the end of the track.
He's setting you up for the next,
those.
and allowing other people to tell stories that align with it. So, okay, 3.5.
3.5.
I'm going 4.5. I would say the thing that keeps me away from 5 mild sauces is, it would be one more hard track, or a little bit more as far as like production wise. I think even a couple of tracks, one more verse.
Yeah,
I'll take the concise project, one more verse.
Even if you
ain't getting no more for 7 years. So what he tell? I think he said something like, the only way I saw an interview, he was like, the only way you get more music from me is stop asking me for music.
hey.
So I'm not going. Since I'm not asking, man, I need like.
I ain't asking, but I'm asking.
Like 3 more verses. Man.
He's
Just fit them into the track. Fit them into this
he
concise
took,
project.
If he took Euphorium off at the end and put something else there, probably would have been a 4.5.
I feel like 5. He had to have it. Yeah, he had to have it.
But that was the one song that was like, okay, this is Foreign Exchange. That's whenever I hear that fast, that go type house joint, I go straight to Foreign Exchange.
I dig it.
Solid 4.5 for me.
So we got 3.5, 4.5, and I'm gonna go 4. So collectively, that's about what 375, 425.
4. That would have to be a 4 because if it's 3.5, 4.
Yeah, 3.5, 4.
That would be the median,
4.
but I'm 4.5.
That's solid.
Yeah,
that's up there.
Very solid album. Great project.
Yeah.
I think Charity Starts at Home. If you had to rate Charity Starts at Home, I think the 3rd, 4th time through this one though, like I was like, man, I'm gonna probably play this as much as I play Charity Starts at Home, just because it's so short.
Yeah, the playback value on this one is dope. Well, that's Phonte in general.
Yeah.
So, but
right.
the
So
playback value is a mess.
Probably.
You got to take one with you. Charity Starts at Home, or
this one.
or this
Charity
one.
Starts at Home.
Charity Starts at Home.
It's not. They're both dope. It's not close to me though. Charity Starts at Home is longer. You got better.
Yeah, when you like longer.
You got better features.
What was it? One more song?
No.
Charity's
but I'm
like
still
11.
I'm still right, but I'm talking about in terms of length. Charity Starts at Home was like still. He had longer tracks on it.
Yeah.
It's probably got to be like a 50-minute album, right?
It's like 40 something.
Yeah. But the features was better on there. It was more features. But the features.
I was trying to
better.
think like who could have added to this perspective though.
But I kind of like when the artists
I
don't
dig
drop in a minute, come out with an album, and it's like strictly them. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it, especially when you're talking about an artist like this.
But if you say like instead of give me a Freddie, give me a Mos or give me a.
He could have given me a Pooh. I would have been cool with a Pooh.
That was another thing I was excited.
I
Did you hear
I
when
like
he
the fact he shouted
Pooh?
him out and Knife.
Yeah,
he shouted
he
out
did.
Pooh and
He
Knife.
did.
I was
He
like,
I was so
okay,
geeked to hear that, man.
like LB.
We ain't heard that in a long time. When he started doing his
Maybe
traditional,
something
that's
brewing.
what's
Let's
up.
hope
Maybe something brewing.
LB big business. Hopefully,
yeah,
we
when
can
he
get
starts
that.
doing it, that's what's up.
And
My
Pooh was the
man
first one he
been-
said. Wasn't it like
it was
the
like
first
second
two?
or third.
Something like
I
that.
perked up like what?
Yeah.
What?
I rewind that.
Yeah.
I was like,
I don't.
did he say what I think he said?
Yeah, I don't know how
Yeah.
close Ninth and Pooh are at this point.
Oh, yeah.
I don't. And I'm kind of at the point where I don't even necessarily want them to ever get back together. I understand where we're at creatively and things like back in that time frame. I just want them to all be tight like they used to be, like cool, kicking it, that type of stuff. That's all I care about, man. We too grown to be beefing, man. That's it.
I want another project. That's I mean, hey,
Another Little Brothers project.
Yeah, I'm a consumer, dog. I want another project.
I think we all do, but I'm happy. Like
That
if
was
it didn't
nice.
happen, I'm fine with that because the bodies of work they gave us was all classics.
You're
Like,
right.
I don't think there's a bad project in there.
at all. That's
So-
why. Give me another one. Give me another one. If every time that you done
Don't
heard,
ask for it, you might get it. Man.
Aight, you right, you right.
Don't ask for it. He said you might get it, dog.
That might be it. That was a hell of a pain.
Yeah, that was dope.
All right, moving on, man. Let's do another album, man.
Yeah, let's get into this one.
Nipsey Hussle,
Yep.
Victory Lap. So we promised y'all last week.
Man.
Dub and Steph, I don't think y'all had listened to it as
Nope.
of yet.
I had
But
not.
I had lived with it for a couple days at least. By that point in time, I was kind of in love with it. I think I had got it like the weekend prior. So I was really able to kind of sit with it. Man, I guess this is Nipsey's first studio album, like long awaited studio album.
Yeah.
So we're going to hustle and motivate?
Huh?
Hustle and motivate?
So we definitely I don't think I expected something this dope, man.
I had man, this is such a dope track.
Let it ride out for a second, man. Let it ride out.
Bet.
Pull up in motorcades. I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate. Choppers a throwaway. Hustle the overweight. That's why they follow me, huh? They think I know the way. 'Cause I took control of things. Ballin' the solo way.
Definitely. That's probably my favorite track. on
Let's-
it.
He's so LA, man.
That's my favorite
joint,
track on that.
Let's just talk about production. I just want to start.
That's okay. Let's start there.
We can start
Let's
there.
I
start
just wanna
right there.
start- Like I think I had tried to warn y'all about what y'all was walking into production wise. I don't think I could have prepared y'all for what y'all walked into production wise.
You right.
This man, I'm just gonna say this: if Rose was first in beat selection, Nipsey might be second.
If he
if
keep
he
doing
give me
this,
another
yeah.
one of
If
these,
he keep doing this,
I felt like Rose was in the room with him, like pick that one, dog. This man, like I want to know how many beats he had to listen to get to these beats.
no.
This, and you guys know
How
my,
many beat tapes did he go through,
put
dog?
this together.
my affinity for Puff. Y'all know. I know you know
Yeah.
my affinity for Puff. Whenever Puff, I didn't even know Puff did anything on this album until I saw a clip, and Nipsey was like, all the production was done. He sent it to Puff. Puff came in the studio and was like, yo, you need to punch this. He did what Fat Joe normally do. Punch this, take this out. So he kind of mixed it for him again.
Yeah.
You can hear it. This album sound like Rick Ross to me. Not sound like him, but the bravado of it.
Yeah.
Rick Ross, American Gangster, Puffy Hands was in all of those.
Yeah.
I love the bigness, if that's a word,
Puff is a genius.
of the production
You
of
just
this
made it.
album,
You
man.
Yeah, it was full. It was full.
Let's dub
It was heavy,
big.
man.
This
I'm with
this
that.
is by far the best production this year for
Man.
a project.
It's
Like there's not a miss as far as beats on
Not
this
at all.
album.
whatsoever.
Not at
It
all.
starts
None
out with the
whatsoever.
soulful intro.
Yep.
The second beat, what's the name of that song? That
Rap
joint
Niggas.
was so
Ain't it?
West
Real,
Coast.
Real nigga.
That joint was so West Coast,
Man.
dog.
Yeah.
But it was so fresh. Like,
And that's the one that I saw the interview when he said Puff was like,
No,
this
yeah,
album,
it's called Rap Niggas.
this
Yeah.
it is rap. My bad.
Yeah. Nice.
He said this album. Think of Natural Born Killers and how loud that is. He said just turn it up.
yeah,
Just turn it up.
Yes.
Don't worry. Don't change it. Just turn it up.
This felt like a score.
Man.
Like this
Yeah.
felt like a score. Like
Yeah.
this was not like a. I didn't feel like this was an album. This
Theatrical.
felt like
You correct.
This felt like a score to
I
me.
agree.
But everything,
put
I
this
think
joint
Blue
together.
Laces might have been my favorite production. My guy Bo pointed out something, and I have to say, like, I had to agree. I felt like a Ross verse should have been thrown on the end of it.
I ain't mad at
After
that.
that bridge,
Not at all.
but he pointed out something. He said, "But Blue Laces, like, what does that mean for him and his gang and his culture?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay, you have to leave that alone. Like, you
Yeah.
can't throw,
And especially
you
with the
can't throw
way that
nobody
that
else
last
on.
verse ended.
Yeah.
And it's
The
so you
story
can't
with that last
so you
verse,
can't throw nobody
bananas.
else on that. Dedication with Kendrick was ill.
That was- that
young
was
nigga
dope.
with Puff with the Puff ad libs in the
That was-
background went
That was
crazy.
That was definitely
Puff doing Puff.
Yeah.
yeah.
Loaded bases.
Loaded bases.
Loaded
was
Bases
ill.
is
Green.
dope.
That was dope.
There's not a miss.
Not
There's
at
not
all.
a miss
None. No
production
miss.
And he
wise.
got like what 17, 18? How many on here?
16.
Hey, but
16.
look, let's put it into perspective.
Put it in perspective for us.
He doubled up the amount of time that Phonte had. And
He did it well.
He was
He did it
and
very
he
well.
did it well. It's points and times where people will have an album that's this long, an hour and 6 minutes, and they will have 5 and 6 misses in it, and then it's like, okay, well, here's why you can only get through 30 or 40 minutes worth of albums.
Yeah.
But when you got somebody delivering over an hour's worth of music, this is what I live for right here. Get me back to this.
It was long awaited though, so I think that's
Yeah,
another thing
it
we
was
have
the
to think. It
anticipation.
seemed like Phonte went in the lab and probably put this together in like 2 weeks and put together such a dope project.
Okay.
Nipsey, we've been waiting on a Nipsey first album for like 8 years. Like, so I mean, I'm totally of the mindset that you have your whole life to drop your first album, like to put together your first album, but. So I think
Can't
that's
get
what he
that
did.
first back.
Yep, you can't. That's
Yeah.
your first impression. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely got that. What do we think of messages and content, lyricism?
I thought it was dope. His whole thing was, I like the fact that one thing that he references multiple times throughout this album is that he owns his own.
Yep, I did it myself.
How he
I
came,
own
how he
this.
came from
Yep.
nothing and he owns it. He continuously talking about how he owns his masters and that he can't have anybody tell him anything.
Yep.
It's a lot of preservation and bigging up of himself in here, and I thought that was dope.
I think
it
the
was
other
super
thing
dope.
that's big is just talking about what he's done since he got on. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So yes, he owns everything, which is dope. But just being able to talk through like what he's doing and what he's consistently on since he's got on, and just kind of echoing that message throughout the album, how he's putting on his city and things like that. So that was dope. And I think like this was a gangster rap album that didn't feel like a gangster rap album.
Yeah.
This
It
is like
was.
if Game matured. He
Right.
would drop a Nipsey album.
Or how not Absol,
Schoolboy.
Schoolboy. is how Schoolboy's first album could have been if he is in a mature place as Nip is right now.
Yep.
Schoolboy did a lot of gangbanging on that first album,
Yeah.
and it was dope. Don't get me wrong, it was.
I was
still,
about to say don't discredit that. It was a dope project.
No, the project was still dope. Don't get me wrong at all. It was still a fresh project, but this it still got those same elements, but it's so much more polished, so much more mature. And for this to be his first album, he's showing you that growth and how he came up and how he.
Because the mixtape's not even whack, really.
No,
but you can see that he spent time getting busy on this.
Yeah.
He spent a lot of time.
Wraith music.
It is.
This is what I call Wraith music.
Yeah, it is very polished.
He was riding in the back of the Wraith making this
So
album.
my thing is So when you told me to listen to it, was last week.
Last week.
There has not been a day where I haven't spun the album at least once since then. That's the replay value that I'm getting out of this right now. So even when Phonte dropped, Phonte dropped, and I listened to Phonte at least like 2 or 3 times the first day it dropped. We was texting each other. I was like, "Yo, do he drop at 11 our time?" And they was like, "Yeah." And it did. It dropped at 11 our time. So I spun it like 2 times. I went to bed at like 2:00 in the morning. Woke up the next day, spun it again, and then I was like, "Yeah, man, this is a fresh album." But then I turned Nip back on.
Rotation, the only one.
Yeah, so that it's like then I just traded off on them 2 albums.
So you sci-hi'd this album.
I was gonna say
so far, yeah, I have sci-hi'd this album.
I ain't sci-hi'd this album, but I'm trying to only have it in rations. Like I have to ration it for myself because I love it too much. Like as far as production. I can't get away from it, and sometimes I be catching myself singing joints, and I'm like, I gotta go get it back in, but I can't because whenever people drop bodies of work like Phonte or like Nipsey did, I feel like I'm doing it a disservice not to listen to it all the way through. Like I can't listen to 1 or 2 tracks. Like I have to listen to it in its entirety. So I like the Nipsey. It's every time I take a long car ride, it's Nipsey. Yeah. Like right now. Like every time I take a long car ride. Especially if it's at night.
Yeah, I dig it.
Especially if it's at night. It's me and Nipsey, we taking a ride.
I'm commuting on this train back and forth to work. I'm playing Nip.
Yeah.
Straight up.
What did you guys think features? So we had Kendrick,
CeeLo,
Dom Kennedy,
Buddy.
Yeah.
Marsha and Bro. So we talked
the greatest R&B vocalist. I think I've been saying that for years, but it just
if you need a hook.
So
where Marsha at? Where Marsha at?
We was just talking about this. We was like, yo, Marsha has not bodied a rap. She ain't jumped on no rapper's track and not killed it. From
what's your favorite?
It's hard for.
She got a lot, man. She got joints with Raekwon, man. She got.
It's hard.
She got a lot.
I'm gonna tell you.
I'm gonna tell you. It's between The Game and
which one? Oh, okay.
The one with The Game was dope.
Yeah. Why You Hate the Game?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was gonna say. Is probably my favorite. That's Why You Hate the Game is the one with Game that Just Blaze production with
it's probably between that and
the choir in the
and
back.
you a Just Blaze cat too, so that's
Just Blaze.
That's you.
Well, Marsha always
Just Blaze is my favorite producer,
but he seems to always pull her in for these hooks too.
It's between that and Wale Diary.
Yeah.
Those
what about wasn't it one on Freeway's album Free at Last?
Yeah.
What's it called? This Can't Be Real.
This
Can't Be Real. I think Can't Be. I think was.
So.
Oh, no, I can't.
Yeah. That one was ill.
That
she gets busy, man.
She definitely does, man. If you a rapper and you got you a soulful beat and you think it's something missing, that might be the person who you need to hit up.
Yeah.
She gonna get you right.
Yeah. So yeah, the features were good. I think they fit their pocket.
Yeah.
It's funny, like when Kendrick has a feature on an album and it's still not like in the top 2 or 3 for me because everybody else fit into their pockets.
Yeah.
And that's what I felt like happened with this album. Like I don't like YG like that. I think we was talking about that. Like I don't like YG
and
like that.
I still love that song.
But YG came and did what he was supposed to do.
Last time that I checked, that's my joint.
Yeah.
Man.
But like he fit, he pulled him in for exactly what he fit for. Like okay. we gonna do this straight West Coast joint.
Like you said, he fit into his pocket.
Yeah.
He didn't get all out of whack. He put YG on a beat that he knew he would sound good on. You know, he didn't give him nothing too out of place. This was very, very, very well put together.
Yeah. Everybody sound West Coast on this album. West Coast, man. Even Kendrick, which I haven't heard in a while, sound kind of West Coast to me.
He sounded
very West Coast.
I don't feel like everybody sounded West Coast. I feel like he took a trip. But
most of the cats is from the West Coast.
I mean, the ones that West Coast would sound West Coast.
Buddy is from the West Coast.
Yeah,
but those ones though. But I think I'm also thinking about like when like the Diddy joint. Yeah. Like that didn't have no West Coast vibe to me at all.
The beat. That was West Coast, man. That heavy bass line, that was NWA all day, man.
Not that mellow beat with Diddy.
That was I'm thinking of number 2. My bad.
Yeah, that one is.
That's number 2.
I'm talking about the one, the slower joint
that
with the
that didn't
with the heavy 808 in the back. Like,
you know, it's two niggas back to back, so I got them.
Yeah, that's what
I got them flip flopped.
We all the same. Don't do that. Don't do that, man.
Yeah, rap niggas and then young niggas.
Yeah.
So
the light skinned delegation is not messing with you, dog. You want to put us all together.
Hey, y'all won with this one.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all won with this one.
I'm with it.
Body, man.
So when we think about like skits or any of those type of things within the album, or just how he set up for other tracks and things like that, what did y'all think about that with this album?
Again, very smooth transitions with the way that Blue Laces fit right into Hustle and Motivate. I thought that was dope. What was the other one? The one with CeeLo. Loaded Bases fed right into Real Big with Marsha. I think his transitions was really smooth. Nothing felt too out of place or like it was just another song coming on. It wasn't abrasive. It was like a trip.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that this is seeing as to how this is his first studio album, but it's called Victory Lap.
Yeah.
I love the fact that it's like
he already winning.
Right, he winning from the jump. He's winning from the jump. And
right.
This was just, it was a phenomenal piece of work.
Yeah.
I thought it was dope. And because I think it caught me off guard because I didn't come in with high expectations. I didn't come in with low expectations either.
Yeah.
It was just, okay, I'm going to take this one for what it's worth. Because I didn't set myself up for the last couple. It's like, I've got high expectations for you. It's like, I expect you to come in and body. Now, I got to admit that because Phonte being who he is, I came in with high expectations. And I still got that bar-wise.
Right.
So with Nip, it was like, okay, I'll just take it for what it is. And it was well beyond what I thought.
The funniest thing was, like, I think when I was telling y'all, because I was even telling y'all, like, off pod, like, off air, Nip's albums was dope. Nip's album. Yeah. And I always think about, don't hype something too much for people, but I was like, there's no way to overhype this. Like, because as soon as you hit play, you gonna agree. Like, there's no way to dislike what he did, man.
And I was hearing other reviews prior to this, but I'm very selective with who I take musical input from. So anybody could tell me, it's like, oh yeah, go listen to this, it's dope. It's other people who say, go listen to this, and then somebody else can say, hey, go listen to it. Depending on who that person is, I may be more inclined to hurry up and go listen to it. Because it's like, okay, I like your musical selection. I like the musical ear you got. It's only a select few who I really go to for that. So when you said listen to this, I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna check it for you.
Yeah.
You happen to be one of them people.
I appreciate the love, bro.
I hold you in a higher esteem. Both of y'all though. And probably my cousin Jessie too. She definitely one of them people. She got a good musical ear. But it ain't too many people who I just be like, I
feel you on that. I'm the same way.
But
I'm the same way.
This was dope. This definitely delivered as advertised. It was definitely a cold project.
So if you had to rate it on the mild sauce scale, no extra mild sauces to 5.
I'm going.
Yeah, you going.
Steph, it's your turn. I always go last. We know that.
I'm going to 5.
You going 5?
My
man's with the pinball. 5 sauces.
Drop that 5. Drop that.
5 sauces.
Man.
5 sauces.
I'm going 5.
You going 5 sauces?
I'm going 5.
Yeah.
He was way too hyped for them 5 mild
sauces.
Man.
Yo,
Is that your first 5?
That's
That's first
Mild
5.
Sauce
That's first
Sneaks?
5.
That's his first 5.
First album we reviewed.
They got a 5.
Not
Right,
just on our-
right, yeah. First album that we've reviewed on the pod. That's got it.
He got a 5 from Steph. Okay, what did he get from you?
He got a 5 out of me too. We got a 5. Yeah, I gave him a 5.
I'm gonna go Lee Corso on you. Not so fast.
He about to pull out a Phonte mask.
Hey, I don't even expect Brandon to say 5 just because Brandon he's rough on everybody with the rating. But yeah, this is the second 5 I've given out.
4.5.
Of course,
4.5.
Amen.
Excellent project.
Yeah.
Excellent project. Sometimes bar wise he got extremely redundant to me. And message wise he
I
got
see that.
extremely redundant to me, and that bored me a little bit. But the production and the features and things
Usually
carried
still
me
held
through
it
that.
down. I got you.
4.5. Very solid album.
I got you.
If we are talking like early album of the year candidates, it would be a candidate
I'm with that.
for me.
I'm with that.
So I don't want to take anything away from it, y'all's. We got a 5. High fives over here.
So
From
can
the
we put?
Euphoria.
Okay, so that's a pretty high consensus. This is only the second album that we've rated where everybody has at least had it at a 4 or higher. I think we should start getting like a Mild Sauce Hall of Fame going for these albums.
Kendrick would be first.
Kendrick will be first.
He would have to be.
Okay.
Then
So
we
then-
can add everybody. I just need you to acknowledge Kendrick is first, and then
I gave his album a 4.
How long before you can retire something, man? We can't have a Hall of Fame yet, man. We gotta
Nah,
wait
you
like
ain't gotta
to
retire.
20 episodes before
ain't
we
gotta
start the
retire.
Hall of
You got to
Fame,
retire.
man.
Mild
got to
Sauce.
retire.
Yeah, I'm just saying we don't.
No, I'm
we're
saying
not
before
always
you
gonna-
make the Hall of Fame, it's gotta be some
gotta-
time elapsed.
Okay.
I'm just. It's very rare that we're gonna all have this high of a consensus. I think that it's gonna be rare. So
I don't
that's
think so.
Nah.
Not over time. No. We're only like in our 3rd, 4th album review.
Nah.
Yeah.
We just
And we
did
had some
2.
lackluster
We did
projects
M.
at the
we
end.
Did,
Sci-Hi.
We did Sci-Hi. But Sci-Hi, everybody was above a
we
4.
Did we do Dave? Did we? Do
Everybody
Davies?
was above a 4
Nah.
for Sci-Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So
what
that's
I
the
said.
set.
That's what I said. This
Oh, I
is
thought
the
you said
second
this is
one.
the first one.
No. I said this is the second one.
Yeah.
First one in 2018.
Yeah. First one in 2018.
So hopefully this will be on our list at the end of the year.
It's gonna be.
I'm sure it's.
I think we're gonna have to do a June list. We're gonna have to do a June
Halfway list.
Mid-year list. I'm cool with that. We could do
halfway through.
that. We could do that.
Because then we got some we haven't even talked about.
Mm-hmm.
On there.
Yeah, I also want to do next week. Let's probably do an R&B album, R&B project.
R&B,
dropped?
Who's coming out?
I got something for y'all.
All right.
We gonna come in here, man. It's gonna be incense burning and.
First of all, it'd be incense burning on a regular day.
You right.
You ain't never lied.
You right. You right.
You ain't never lied.
We can't say barefoot music.
Yeah.
Shoes at the door.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's be old school. What was I listening to today? Love Committee or something. Like I've been on the old stuff. Love Committee and Teddy P. So yeah,
Put some LTD.
survive.
Well, shout out to Nips, man. That was
definitely
dope album.
Nipsey Hussle came
very
with it.
solid project.
Definitely dope.
Definitely great debut album. So
For sure.
speaking of, so we've gotten 2 good albums.
Mm-hmm.
Diddy executive produced this, so I think it gives him the right to say some things that he said this week.
Get it off your chest, brother love.
So Diddy came out and said that there's too many whack rappers in the game right now.
Too many whack MCs.
They're diluting. They're diluting hip hop right now, and he said that because there's so much to try to pick through and listen to, and so much of it is diluted. So Diddy comes from an era in the mid '90s where really wasn't that many rappers. Like there were certain people on certain labels. Certain labels were doing numbers.
No, it was a lot of them. They just didn't make it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Not to the
Yeah.
where everyone to the masses could hear them,
Okay.
right? Like it's the internet era, it's the microwave era. Anybody can get to the people.
Yeah,
In
we
2
could throw up
hours.
something tonight.
Right.
And be artists.
Right,
Rappers. Yeah.
right. We
Okay.
can, right. We could just throw a beat on behind us right now and rap, and we could have this to the people in an hour,
Yeah, for
and,
sure.
and we could probably have it on iTunes by tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so we're in this era, right? And then Funk Flex. I don't know if y'all saw what Funk Flex.
Yeah, I saw what he said.
Funk Flex.
That was kind of disrespectful, man.
Said he co-signed and took it a step further. To, pretty much said that Diddy was being a cupcake without calling names out, and started tagging folks.
Yeah.
So who did he tag? G-Eazy,
Nicki,
Lil Pump, Nicki.
Yep.
I don't think Nicki deserved that tag. Nicki.
He said.
Well,
Monster. He said Nicki is a
Monster Nicki
rapper.
don't deserve the tag, but this new Nicki. Well, she ain't dropped nothing, so
she hasn't been right. I don't know where he was.
We'll press the pause button on that one.
That sound personal, though.
Yeah.
That sound personal.
So he said G-Eazy whack.
G-Eazy, Little Pump.
And I listened to the G-Eazy
album.
Can
rap. Not bad.
And
he
it wasn't.
Rap, but I
listened to it.
He's a culture vulture at this
stage.
He's just capitalizing on what the culture is in this moment.
Right.
So I will have to say I agree with Puff, on this. I think they are diluting music at this point in time because we're putting out. There's so much trash coming out on a consistent basis that the good hip hop gets lost in the shuffle. Like, how many of these people are listening to Lil Pump and all these other people have missed Nipsey, have missed Phonte, right?
It's,
I feel like that we have to regulate hip hop ourselves, right? Like at the point that it's at, it's great that everybody can get to the marketplace quickly, but not enough people take pride in their craft.
That's true.
I think anything that's gonna just quickly sell or that has that already has some momentum, everybody jumps on. And I am gonna say it's somebody's fault. Kanye West is at fault for this. I feel like.
Speak on it.
Yeah, man.
You want me to speak
blaming it on Kanye?
Okay, I'm a big Ye fan, but every time a style starts to get fresh, Kanye tries to steal it, throw it on something mainstream, and then everyone after that is trying to do it. Example, Travis Scott.
Okay.
Cuddy's vibe.
Yeah.
Every couple years he comes in and just steals people's whole vibes, and then everyone's trying to do that for the next 2 years.
He learned that from Jay-Z.
Jay-Z did it to an extent, but he couldn't steal Petey Crack, get all of that. Like he
wasn't gonna try to steal Petey.
I'm just saying, that
closest
whole
he got was Young Chris.
State prop. I'll just jump on it. On it, but I can't steal it all. You know what I'm saying? But I would say Jay stole more of the Scarfaces and people like that. If I had to say where he drew his from to get his style. But I guess we could throw Drake in there as another one that catches styles bubbling up now and totally hijacks them.
For sure.
But I really say it's Kanye. If we think about anybody, the whole Future style and all of that, Kanye just bites everybody's style, makes it mainstream, then everybody tries to do it. So I want to blame. I'm placing a lot of the blame on him.
I'm not opposed to that because it's true. My thing, the whack rappers don't bother me. Here's the reason why. There's a lot of whack rappers out there, and they putting out a lot of music, but I ain't spinning them. Reason being is I am very selective of what I'm going to listen to. And for the most part, you really only gonna get one shot with me. Y'all know if it's something, if you say something that's off, I'm gonna turn you off, tune you out real quick. You're not gonna get a lot of chances with me when it come to music, because if it's something that I want to hear or that I'm gonna invest my time, I can't get my time back, dog. So I'm not gonna invest my time into listening to something that I don't like. So I don't spend a lot of time listening or checking for a lot of these.
I'm not either.
Cats.
Not either. But I think when we get to diluting though, let's think about what we hear on mainstream and what so there's a reason why we can't get why Nipsey may not be a Grammy nominated album, right? Because Culture is gonna have to be the nominated album. Or Lil Pump's project that's trash. It's gonna have to be nominated because it did numbers or because it was pumped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if we could get some of that out the game, we could get back to the space where albums that we truly loved were in that space. You know what I'm saying?
I just don't think we're gonna get there. And the reason being is because the avenue is too open. It's too accessible. I mean, because back in the day, you had to be super dope, you had to be real fresh with it, or you had to know somebody. Now, like you said, it's way too accessible. So, and that's not a bad thing because it has helped people cut out the middleman. And be able to generate your own revenue. Remember, we just talked about Nip saying, "I own my own masters." That's powerful.
I want to blame somebody else too, and then I'll let you get back to it. Soldier Boy.
and you know what? It's as much as
he didn't make it. He didn't make it. The rubber band chains.
He did. But
he's the first that made it out of doing this, and people started doing this at 14.
On the flip side of that, I admire the hell out of him for what he did, because that man was 15, 16 years old, and he took the only outlet that he had, and he turned himself into a millionaire. So on the other side of that, not that his music was all that dope.
I was gonna say, what if it was a substance? Because he's not a dumb brother, but he does a lot of dumb stuff because he knows that's how he can make money. And Bow Wow.
And low-key, he actually a pretty solid producer. Low-key, his
I give you that.
He's not bad. Some of his production is actually okay. Is definitely not a huge fan of his music, but his ability to utilize the outlet I've liked, and that goes to a lot of rappers, especially younger rappers, because some of them coming up out of nowhere and with nothing, and now they have that outlet and they have the means to be able to put something on wax. But you just got to filter through it. So the way that I do,
and that's why I said filtering through. I mean, it's diluted, right?
Yeah, no.
That would make this point, right?
Right. No. It by no means am I not saying that it's diluted. It's very diluted.
Okay.
It just, the dilution doesn't bother me, because first of all, in order for me to think that this is going to be worth listening to, I'm probably going to catch on to you late. Because somebody gonna be like, yo, go listen to such and such and so and so. I'm gonna be like, yeah, all right, cool. And then I'm gonna continuously keep hearing that until somebody like you or Steph or people who I value their opinion when it comes to music say, hey, go listen to this dude, check him out. My sister is another one. I jumped on to Drake super late, dog. By the time I got on to Drake, what was his first mixtape called? Not the first mixtape, but the one that really popped. So Far Gone.
So Far Gone.
My sister used to watch.
Witness my growth.
My sister used to watch Degrassi.
No, it wasn't.
Like faithfully. That was her joint. And she used to say, Aaron,
room for improvement.
This nigga, yeah. She was like, this nigga could rap. And I was like, word? She was like, yeah, he could rap like really good. And she was telling me over and over. And until I finally heard So Far Gone, I was like, this the nigga you talking about? She said, nigga, I told you this years ago. Go on somewhere. Right. And that's how it is with a lot of rappers now. It's like, I don't know, or I'm going to catch on to you really late if you don't, because I'm not going to check for a lot of this other stuff. So I guess that's the only downfall. That's the only downfall of the dilution of
I'm with you. It's diluted, yes. But I don't think it's nothing we can do about it. And when I think of the new rap, and when I think about the new rap now, I think of, we spoke about it a little bit off air last week, old NBA and new NBA. It was a different drive for the older cats than it is for the cats that's playing now. Meaning the newer cats have accessibility to the quick wealth.
Yeah.
So they can throw out and pump out trash.
Yeah.
Just like we getting the trash product sometime in the league. But on the flip side of that, back in the day, if Brandon and I was going to do a feature together, I'm letting Brandon go first so I can hear what this man said, so I can body him on my
4,
verse.
3, 2, 1.
So I can you ain't ripping the mic from my arm, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's that friendly thing, that KD LeBron thing.
Competition.
That's what's
but
going on.
How do you compete with Gucci Gang?
They all you got Gucci Gang, then you got Chanel Curse somewhere else probably being made. Who knows, man? So it's nothing we can do. It was the responsibility of the cats before these dudes to change that, and they didn't.
But I feel like we can still change it, man. Like,
no, because now we sound like us and the rappers that is in our age group as being haters and not liking it, so they not listening to it. Listen to what we're saying.
Nah, I think like the Joey Bads of the world.
But that's a different breed.
I know. I'm saying though, but like let's think about if that starts to be celebrated at the Grammys or we keep talking about the Black Rap Award.
It can't. It won't. Well, let's say it won't. I'm not gonna say it can't, but it won't, because it's coming. It's not microwave. If you listen to Joey, you have to sit down and really kind of listen to Joey.
Right,
you just can't throw Joey in and be like, all right, this is a dope album. You got to go back to it and dissect it a little bit.
Yeah.
These other cats, I can do what I want, all that stuff. That's that's what's controlling the market right now. And they may be around 10, 20 years. We don't know.
So is it a phase like that? Because I feel like it's a phase in hip hop. Like everything, I think we're always on like a 20. Because right now we're in Ren and 10 rap. That's what I call it. Remember Brown Sugar?
Somebody said,
but Phonte.
Phonte said that.
He just made a Ren and 10 reference to fit into something. But but
he said sing it like Ren and 10. That's the first thing I thought about.
But like I feel like we're in that era of rap. Where
it's gonna have to be another movement, like that native tongue movement. It's gonna have to be something like that.
Like we're in that because it usually takes about 20 years for something to come back.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
And so the fashion has started to come back, but when does the bars come back?
The bars will come back when
especially,
more people like Puffy speak on it, and then when these individuals want to work with you, you hold up that standard still. You just don't work with them because, we're going to be brothers.
Because right now we have the content. Like, there's so many social injustices and, different things, racial things going on and school shootings. And there's so much to talk about.
But a lot of these young cats fell untouchable. It may not hit them like that.
I think it's going to have to spark back to the competition.
Like
you get your best rap when you're competitive. Remember that spurt when we got the control verse? Everybody went to go get the control verse. And so then it sparked for a quick second. It was here and it was here today, gone tomorrow. But it sparked some pretty good music because the competition was there. Niggas felt threatened for a minute. It was like, hold on, he talking about me.
I think another thing went away too that I used to love. Remember like when MTV Jams and them used to come with the top 10 lists?
Yeah.
And you felt like cats rap to try to make the top, like cats would be angry they didn't make the top 10 list.
Yeah.
There's nothing
when they was all
like
sitting
that.
in the room putting it on the Velcro
exactly.
board.
And you wanted your name on that board.
You had to have your name
and you
on the
couldn't
board.
rap like there is a duh.
And then if they do this list now, they putting that stuff up there because you got to put what's hot.
But you don't have
there.
to.
I mean, it depends on who you get in the room. It depends on who you got and around that table voting. If you got DJ Academics around that table voting, then you gonna get the little pumps and
But let's think about this. But let's think about this. Diddy has a whole station where he could recreate that, right? He could put that out and and he can use the people that he has, right?
You know all the videos he play on his station though? Diluted.
But let's say this.
How many people gonna watch that?
But let's say this.
Tune into it. How many
I'm gonna just tell you, you have Nori, you have Joe Budden now. You have all these other people at Revolt. Yeah, you have all of these tastemakers at Revolt at this point in time, right? If you throw all of them in the room and have them do the top 10, first of all, like the cats that aren't rapping, they're gonna be mad at first, talking about I don't care about that. I'm making enough money, and eventually, after year 2 or 3, they're gonna be like, I need to be on that list, dog. That's the only thing I haven't done that's been on that list. And they're gonna start trying to prove themselves. Now think about if G-Eazy really got off like G-Eazy could get off. Like, would that start to change the game? Yeah. If 21 Savage really rapped like I know he could rap, would that change the game? You know what I'm saying?
You would hope that it would.
That would start that trend, just like in basketball, right? The Warriors got everybody shooting threes, right? When Shaq was being dominant on the post, everybody wanted a big man. You know what I'm saying? So. Like, the game changes as necessary, right? There's a lot of Cardi B followers all of a sudden. Every female's trying to be Cardi B. So whatever's hot, people are gonna flock to. If the industry makes that hot,
so that's what we need to make hot is competition.
Exactly.
Get back to competition.
Yep. So that's the challenge.
That's
the challenge.
Yeah, for sure.
Of what we need to do going forward. I feel like for us to get to a space where we're back where. Like rap was competition, and you could be like, who had the best verse on this? And like we do that now, but it's very few and far between.
Yeah, I mean, because niggas don't care about having.
Then when we get it, we so excited, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's so many rappers who just say, yo, I don't care about, my music being the best. I don't care about bars. They say that. Like, what's my man's name? The weird, well, that don't really care. I was about to say the weird. I was about to say the weird nigga, but that don't do anything
category, man.
So everyone between 17 and 25.
The nigga with the red hair, dog.
Uzi,
Trippie Redd.
Nah. Who the fuck is Trippie Redd?
He got all I know. He got red hair.
Nah, it's the he ugly ass.
Tadashi.
Oh, not Uzi. The other
He a little
little
Yachty.
Yeah.
He says it a lot. He don't care about bars. He said he's like that. He said I just make what I like, and it's like it's nothing wrong with that. If you making music, you should like what you making. But this comes from a essence of having something to say, and when you got that platform, you're gonna want to be heard. My mama told me something a long time ago when I was little. She said, if you gonna open up your mouth, you better have something to say. So basically, don't just
I'm
be
pop
talking.
you in it. That's
right.
what my mama.
Just don't be talking just to talk. Yeah, I usually got that part on the back end. But don't just talk just to talk. If you ever have a platform or opportunity to speak, you got to find a way to captivate somebody. And I'm not saying that they're not, because if they wasn't captivating people, then they music wouldn't be getting spins. They're getting that, but they're not saying anything significant. They're not saying anything with substance.
This get high music. That's what it is.
It is.
That's our culture.
Yeah.
That's what's popping right now. So that's what they want to listen
Being
to.
the
What
junkie.
they get high.
Being the junkies.
But did our generation create this generation of junkies?
I can say yes. I'll say yes.
Or did we create them?
We didn't create it in terms of
Did DMX
recreationally
create
taking it, but from what they saw,
Did
what they
DMX
experienced,
create
I would say
them?
yeah.
Nah.
DMX.
Nah. No. How?
I'm about to just
DMX
say-
never
I'm just saying.
glorified his drug use. Ever. He never was, yeah, you know, love smoking crack.
No.
What?
Wait.
He didn't say that.
It ain't just him
I'm
not
just
saying it.
saying, right.
It's him doing it.
It's him doing it. Did ODB create this?
Yeah.
More so ODB.
I'm just
than
throwing names out because it's not gonna be one person.
By listening to X and listening to his struggles, his demons, his pains, he made me even more scared straight into. I'm straight dare program because of listening. I was like, I don't never want to be that nigga.
I'm just saying.
The shit that he done seen.
But on the flip side, but on the flip side, who thought that was cool and said I'm gonna do that so I have something to rap about?
It started with one.
I give ODB
He was how many albums was he selling? He
was selling a lot.
My man went platinum twice in a
But the culture changed.
98.
Being high.
We from a culture of lyrics. This is a culture now of I'm lit, turn party. So that's the party vibe. That's what's popping right now. It's the party. In order for the party to be legit, that's what they do. They're not just drinking. They drinking they drug.
The rappers sold crack in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, and these is the
Using
they
it.
sold it to the parents, and the parents introduced it to them. Now we have Gucci Gang.
You know, but you know,
I seen somebody's name was Lil Xan.
that's wild. And I think you're a white
Bruh.
cat, man. Another appropriate of the culture, vulture.
Lil Xan, dog.
Lil Xan.
But it all
Lil
comes
Xan.
back. I don't know when, but eventually it will, and we'll get some good music out
I'm
of it.
hoping so.
Speaking of good music, what do you think Tribe is teasing? So
Man,
Tribe has been teasing.
they playing,
and they
man.
said,
We were supposed to get it today, right?
I just
They
checked
said
on
Monday.
anything.
what you think they teasing? Because they said it ain't gonna be no leaks.
I thought
Jerobi
about-
said it's not gonna be no leaks like Black Panther. We gonna know.
I thought about two things. One, it can be a Final Five album, or two, it's a biopic.
But
I'ma
they
ask
just
you
did
this
beat Life
then.
and Rhymes, right? They did beat Life and Rhymes.
Yeah, that's a
right?
documentary though.
Yeah.
But
So then,
but would they be announcing this like this if it was a
I don't know.
buyout?
It don't look like they got anything. They trolled us.
I would think. Let's hope not. Nah, they done got us all in this by seats. But okay, Steph, if you broke it down to those,
They
two,
Midnight Marauders. so it
My
may come
next,
out
my next question is, which one would you rather it be? Would you rather get the film, or would you rather get all Fife?
Would you rather get an album that only has 5 Fife verses?
I want to film, and I want to film because their dynamic, I think, is not what a lot of people know about them. Meaning that they went through a point where they didn't talk for almost close to 20 years, if you will. They don't know about the musicality of Q-Tip. How they all
That's a
got,
brilliant brother.
You know,
How they went to high school.
went to high
together.
school
Yeah.
together. How Fife was like younger than him, following him around and all that
Yeah.
stuff. His illness, his ailments. I would like to see.
Is Consequence gonna be in?
His teeth
You
won't
got
fit,
to.
but I'm sorry.
He said his teeth
Don't
won't
do
fit.
that.
You got to pan out.
It's one of the greatest technical rappers of all time.
We
man.
can't tilt.
Hey, I don't care what you say. We got a lot of great Kanye because of Consequence.
You're right. You're absolutely correct.
We got a lot of great Kanye. Not that I mean, because in my mind, anyway, Kanye is one of the most genius level
He is.
music minds ever.
That's why him being lazy
Ever.
over the past 7-8 years and stealing everybody's style make me mad. Man.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't got nothing for that.
But that was
I got
a
nothing
different
for that.
level of appropriation as well, from within the culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
he
with
went
that.
through about 5 years of being lazy.
Yeah. Facts.
Started after what? Probably after 808.
When he started
say?
talking to Amber, when he lost Shorty that
Oh,
his
okay.
high school sweetheart Shorty and went to
Yeah.
Amber, he lost his
man.
mind. His mother passing, I think, also caused this too.
Yeah, that was heavy on him.
But I don't know. What if Tribe is coming out with their own awards because they got snubbed?
I'm here for it. I think that's too grand of a scale. I think that
That's
plays
one of the
well
things
in the
that
mind
you-
of Brandon.
That you just know it's not gonna last, so you don't want to be like, yeah, and you know it's only gonna
What
be
if
like
he
one.
enlisted Diddy in them and they, because he could pull all the heavy hitters together to make something
I
happen.
doubt they'll do all that. It's either gonna be a movie, because it's not gonna be another Tribe album. They said it's either gonna be whatever Phife was working on, or a movie. A book isn't that extravagant of news. It's either a movie or a Phife album.
If you big on Tribe, anything that they releasing that you haven't heard, you're gonna listen for.
Yeah.
I want to know is how much. Well, I guess this is gonna be almost like the cult following anyway.
Mm-hmm.
This whatever they release is not gonna be for the masses.
Nah, not
I
at
mean,
all.
they will. Hopefully the masses, divulge into it. But this is for the people who still checking for Tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you ask most people, if we just walk down the street and ask 10 people about it, how many people gonna know that they even released this and said, "Hey, Tribe got something big coming up"? So I feel like this is going to be for the select few. Most people not checking for Tribe right now. They not.
I think they're checking for Tribe more so than they were because they dropped
An album last year.
album that was so dope last year.
How many people thought it was that dope?
A lot of people.
I think a lot of people thought it was dope.
You think so? If we go back and listen to,
But I think it may be
if
a
we
lot
go
of
back and listen to,
old heads that thought it was dope. I don't think the young cats probably. And they may
that's
have
what I'm
got with
saying.
it.
And who's the biggest consumer of music? Is these
You're right.
young coked out kids.
The baby's on coke.
Oh man, I ain't never
You
seen
smoke crack, don't you?
Judge Mathis, I know a crackhead when I see one.
So I guess
know a
they're
crackhead when I
gonna
see one.
drop it at 11:59.
It might. That's
Tonight?
why I'm thinking it might be an album.
that's what they
No,
said.
I don't know.
Or some type
I'm
of
assuming.
project because it might go
They
into
just said
midnight.
Monday, and then I've been checking all day, and
Because
I
I
ain't
was
seen
thinking
it.
around 6. Then B and I talked. We was thinking about 7 our time, 8 o'clock New
I'm a little
York.
salty now
So-
because it ain't out.
Prime
I
time.
don't know, but if they drop something, we'll keep it posted next week.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, we'll definitely. Well, we'll know, and we'll probably know tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
Right? Don't J Electronica. Have us waiting
J
for that.
Electronica.
Don't
That's another-
detox.
don't
that's another
detox
show.
us, dog.
Detoxes.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we ain't gotta wait that long.
Hopefully. But I'm just gonna enjoy this basketball this week and these two projects. So
Yeah,
I'm
man.
happy for
Basketball.
We've started the year very, very well with the projects that have dropped. So
Yeah, I'm with the projects that I've checked for and I've put into my my Apple Music catalog. I have not been disappointed.
yeah,
Nah.
yeah.
I've not been disappointed yet.
It may be a miniseries like the New Edition joint too.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, me too.
I'm cool with that.
That would be cool.
If they give me anything new, if they give me anything, any kind of content, I'm cool with it. If it's a Phife album, if it's a movie, it don't matter what it is.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
yeah. Well, all right, that's it for this week, man. So,
It's a wrap.
I guess it's a wrap. Episode 14 is a wrap.
In the bag. Go check out that Nipsey Hussle. Go check out the Phonte if you
Yeah.
haven't. 2 super
Yeah.
dope projects. You got to check them out if
That's the
you're
announcement
looking
right
for
here.
something.
Right. We
Yeah.
We'll just do
I'm with that.
relaxation before we get up out of here.
Did y'all ever hear the version with Kanye and Consequence?
Yeah.
Yes.
They murdered that joint.
Oh, burnt it down. Burnt it down.
But all right, y'all. See y'all next Wednesday. be here.
Peace,
Honey,
peace.
check it out, you got me mesmerized. With your black hair and your fat